What up, y'all? Today's episode is brought to you by RV Fix. Let's walk through a quick scenario. You're on your RV trip that you've been planning for months and bam, something goes wrong. Slide won't move, fridge quits, the power's out. Now, instead of cracking open a cold one, it's fixing time. Total buzzkill, right? That's where RV Fix comes in. Call 1-844-66-RV-FIX and get connected via video call with a master RV technician. No middlemen, no dealership runaround, just real help, fast. And over 40% of these issues are fixed on the first phone call. If it's more serious, we've got you. We'll order parts and get warranty approval within hours, not weeks. Then we can either ship the parts to you and walk you through the fix on a second video call, send a mobile tech from our 2,000 plus tech network, or have you drop it off at the dealership once everything's ready to roll. And even better, you get to keep your rig during this whole process. No more waiting 4 to 6 weeks for basic repairs. With RV Fix, most shop fixes are done in just 3 days. Skip the stress, call RV Fix, and get back to camping, relaxing, and making memories. Use promo code RVVoice at checkout to get a 60% discount and lock in your price for years to come. Learn more at rvfix.com. Hope you enjoy this episode. Alrighty, y'all. Welcome to another episode of the RV Voice. Today we are talking to Jayco. All the changes from 25 to 26. This is what the horse's mouth. We got Matt Fischer and Mark Lawson. These guys are the product managers of Jayco, J Feathers, J Flights, and I think you do have one more, don't you, Mark? But we'll bring in here to make sure. But we're going to talk about the Bungalows, destination trailers, the J Feather Air and J Feather Premiers, a whole bunch of changes. We want to know what those changes are. Maybe entice you to buy a new Jayco if you already have one. So let's welcome Matt and Mark. Thank you guys so much for being here, taking time out of your day. Welcome back, Mark, and welcome to the show, Matt. This is your first time on here, so welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, looking forward to it, Jake.
Yeah, much appreciated. Yes. Sure. It's a little different. It's a little different style things. It's not being on the lot, right, and training everybody. Yep. We're training the people out there that want to know about Jayco. So, Matt, since we don't know a lot about your background, at least I don't, what's your background? How long you've been at Jayco? Where you been before that? If you want to talk about that real quick, that'd be awesome.
Perfect. My name is Matt Fischer. I'm product director for all things J-Flight. I've been at Jayco for going on 20 years. This is going to be my 20th anniversary, so just a few years. In my prior lifetime, I was a school teacher for approximately 10 years. So that's where I think the gray hair started right here and the gray beard. So, but yeah, we love Jayco. We're excited to be on the show and talk about all things travel trailers here, Jayco Travel Trailers.
Awesome, Matt. And Mark, you actually recently got a promotion about 6 to 9 months ago, somewhere in there.
I did, yeah. So started training for the product development side on all of our lightweight products at Jayco. So all the J Feather product. Kind of started training that mid last year. Was the West Central travel trailer rep, including the store that you came from, Jake, there in Nebraska, but all the other Rocky Mountain states. But started training mid last year and officially took over the title January 1st. It's been really fun because I started in this industry in production. And so when you move into sales, you're on the road a lot. You don't get as much involved on the production side. So it's been really nice for me to get more involved on the production side, working with the ops teams and purchasing and engineering. So yeah, it's been fun. Obviously that brings its own challenges, but challenges are fun as well. So, but we have a really good team behind us that is there to support us, and we're just blessed with the team that we have and the people that we have at Jayco.
Absolutely. Jayco sits at the top still for lots of reasons. We're going to get into some of the changes and why you should buy a 2026. So I'm going to bring up this PDF that you sent me, and then we can kind of go through this. Where you just kind of direct me where to go, Matt, and we'll start wherever you need me to.
So in general, in the J-Flight for this model year, as far as the enhancements go, you can go down to that elite package, Jake. This is one thing. Let me explain kind of last year what we did in the J-Flight world. If you're familiar with J-Flight, you know that we've had almost different levels, different price points. J-Flight SLX, and we had a regular J-Flight. Because of the market conditions, inflation and interest rates and price point, even, we can talk tariffs, we can talk about the price of groceries. We all know what's been happening in the market. Well, we saw more of a trend down into our SLX price point. That's maybe a little bit more aggressive price points for our travel trailers. And so what we did was we took our whole spectrum of J-Flights and put them into this SLX family. So it really created, quality build trailers at a little bit less price point. It's worked out really well. One thing that we wanted to do at the same time is be able to offer an upgraded J-Flight. We didn't want to lose, a fully featured J-Flight. Especially some of our bigger ones that are 30 feet and up, let's say. A lot of those campers are being camped in quite often. A lot of times they're even seasonal spots. So we did want to be able to offer them fully featured. So what we did is we created this elite package. This really came about late last fall. So everything kind of became a J-Flight SLX, but then on anything with a slide out, we offer this elite package, and it's an upgraded package. You're going to get fiberglass sidewalls, aluminum rims, a fireplace, a pull-out kitchen faucet. And then this year for 2026, we added a front LED light. It's a decorative light, but also at a campground, it looks really, really cool, if you would. It also illuminates the whole front of your campground. When you're walking around the campground late at night and you run into that A-frame, believe me, you're going to remember it the next morning.
Yeah. Well, you'll wake up the neighbors with some words too.
I think Matt knows from experience. He owns a J-Flight.
That's right. I may have done that a few times.
Yeah.
It illuminates that whole front end. I mentioned the fireplace. We added dinette storage doors, the window style surrounds. So we just really wanted to be able to offer, a J-Flight that has a lot of more bells and whistles. Isn't just, just all about price point. So, that we've really worked on that elite package to make it aggressive, to make it attractive is what customers want. So they can still get a J-Flight with a slide out in that SLX series or with this elite package. So it's turned out really well.
Very nice. It's just a little bit of an upgrade to come up from that, the regular SLX, right?
Yeah, for sure. And overall there, we did revamp that elite package this year. We had a couple features in that elite package that we heard from customers and dealers and the sales guys. Sales guys are awesome. They're our ears and they're our feet and boots on the ground. Sales guys always come back to us and report, hey, customers are saying this, dealers are saying this. And there were a couple of features that we had in that elite package that customers wanted all the time. And that was a medicine cabinet in the bathroom. Yep. And that was a full heated enclosed underbelly. So those two things in 25 were part of the elite package that we took out of the elite package, and we made them standard on all SLXs.
That's awesome.
Either, all the way down to our 260BH, no slide. Our 260BH is our number one seller. It's price point, floor plan. It's a great family coach. So even all the way down into that small of a trailer, we put that medicine cabinet and closed underbelly, standard equipment all the time. And like I said, it was part of the elite package. But listen to our customers and our dealers, and they want that all the time, so we gave it to them. So that's standard equipment all the time. And then we added a few new things in that elite package then for this year. Now, overall, the J-Flight SLX for 26, it looks very similar to the 25s. The exterior graphics, if you put the 26 beside the 25, there's not a lot of separation between the graphics, what you and I know what it looks like. You have to step inside. You'll see a few new decor details. We're constantly working on making our units feel light and bright. A lot of times these campers get parked and camped out in the woods, under trees. When you do that, you lose a lot of the sunlight. And so we're always constantly working on, or at least we have been the last couple of years, making our campers feel light and bright inside. So everything from flooring, wallboard, we do have a new accent wood this year, where our whole goal was to make it lighter and brighter inside. That's one of the biggest differences this year for 26 that you see.
So the interiors have changed just a little bit more. I know that like Jayco they kind of stuck with the grays and darker colors, right? I mean, when I was selling a couple of years back, that's just kind of how it was. It was always looked wonderful inside. You could tell the difference. You could walk into a Jayco and hear the difference. That's what I told people to do. You walk into a Jayco, listen, because you don't hear the creaks, you don't hear stuff, you don't hear the road, because we worked right off basically the interstate, right off the highway in Lincoln there. And when you walk into a Jayco, you can just hear the difference, as in you don't hear a whole lot, which is awesome. But if you're making it lighter and brighter, like you said, because you're in the woods typically over some sort of tree cover, if you give that more light interior, it just helps everything brighten up all of it.
Yeah, so. And the J-Flight really kind of did stick with our modern farmhouse look that we've had for the last couple of years. A few years ago, we kind of really were one of the first ones to bring white into our campers, more mainstream. And in the sense, we mix in some darker woods to not make it feel like a hospital when you walk in. We still want you to feel homey and but yet camping at the same time. So you get a good mix with the J-Flight in the J-Flight with modern farmhouse still. With some different accent woods. And I know Mark's in the lightweight, we introduced a brand new wood color, a new decor series that he can talk about when you get to his stuff. So that's exciting too. So, yeah.
Perfect. Are there
I will say one thing new in the J-Flight world for maybe, I don't know how many of your listeners are from the western portion U.S., quite a few, I would guess. But we have a manufacturing facility in Twin Falls, Idaho, who builds J-Flights there for most of our U.S. or our Western U.S. and Canadian dealers. And we have what's called a Baja package out there. And it's done extremely well. In the past, last year, it was only offered on our single axles. And this year, we started offering a Baja package on our double axle units, the ones without a slide. So some of our smaller J-Flights out there, double axles, like your 210, 260, what we call our 211. They're really popular floor plans. You can get those now with a Baja package, off-road tires, just more amenities for that off-road kind of look and feel. Camping is different out west a lot of times than it is here in the Midwest or even East Coast. And so we started offering that Baja package again out west on those double axles. So that's really exciting stuff in our world.
Yeah, very cool. The Baja package, I remember when I didn't even know what the Baja package was until I came up for an Idaho show. And I was like, why don't we get this cool stuff? They have flipped axles, they sit higher, and they're taller wheel wells and everything, or whatever.
Fish Idaho has done extremely well with it, but really, out west, that Baja package has been very popular.
I've always said, Jake, when I was a sales rep, and like I mentioned earlier, I had a lot of the Rocky Mountain states where people boondock. So I've always said, east of the Rockies, you're RVing. West of the Rockies, you're actually camping, you're boondocking, you're going out in the mountains all by yourself. And then I think that's why we see the success of the Baja package out west.
Oh, for sure. There's a lot more desolate area out here. There's less people.
Yeah, right.
Which is good. I'm okay with that. Any major floor plan changes
one thing I'll touch on real quick, J-Flight Bungalow is our destination trailer. In the past, it's our bungalow trailers have been designed for basically to travel 2 times, and that's from Jayco to the dealer to where it's going to sit. It's a destination trailer, and it's 102 wide. It has a lot of residential appliances. They're seasonal campers. This year we are introducing what's called our destination series. So it's 3 floor plans that, I kind of equate this to like our SLX trailer. It is a little bit more price conscious. One of the biggest differences, the 102, which is a wide body camper, these will be regular travel trailer widths. So that's one thing we're doing. Really, it's a cost conscious destination trailer. So a person's going to be able to, if they're interested in a destination trailer, look at one of these new series and get something that just still has the look, feel, touch of a bungalow, just not necessarily that high price tag.
So are they still 102 on the destination series, or are they 96?
No, the destination series will be 8 wide, which is what a conventional travel trailer is.
Okay.
But it's still going to have the height of a bungalow. It still has the tall height and the taller slide rooms. So we're confident when you go in, it's still going to feel more roomy than a conventional travel trailer because of that extra height and headroom, and still has residential appliances and just a little bit. It's going to be a good hybrid between SLX features and the big bungalow.
Very nice. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know they made them. Made it. Well, are you guys the first ones to do 96 wide on 8 foot?
No, there's a few other people. If in this destination park trailer business, if you will, it's about 50-50. Whereas about 50% of them are 102 wide bodies, and then the other half is 8 wide. So it's kind of 2 different price points, and we haven't been participating in the price point where if you call it more entry level destination trailers, that's kind of where this is going to fall into.
Awesome little cabin home.
It goes back into the whole market, the market conditions and inflation. And I don't know about you, the price of gas, just everything, our groceries. We still want to buy things, but we're constantly looking for value, right? We want a good deal. That's what it is. We want a good deal. We don't want to jeopardize quality. And that's one thing in our SLXs, everything that we've done. We haven't really talked about our J-Flight Sport Series. Our Sport Series we introduced last fall. And again, that's more price conscious RVs and campers. And but we're not jeopardizing a lot of quality when we build these sports. Everything that Jayco builds is backed with a 2-year warranty. And our sports and these destination series trailers, they're still going to get real wood cabinetry, things like that. So it's just we're still making an effort to look at how can we build this differently, maybe what features can we take out, but yet still build a quality trailer with a floor plan that's still attractive for people to go camping. We all still want to go camping.
Yep. Price consciousness. That's terrible. I mean, literally the first year that I was out here in Idaho, it was, pretty livable. And then like the next year, this year specifically, groceries have just, I don't even know what happened. Sure. Like I was like, every time I go in there, I spend $100. It's like, I'm just a single guy. So can imagine buying a trailer myself. So, sports, we you touched on them. Got a couple of those in here. Is there anything else you want to hit on, or do you want to move on to
these new floor plans that you're showing on your screen right now? Right there is a brand new 250, what we call our 250 Sport Edition. This is brand new. You guys are the first ones to see it, Jake, here. The proto just came offline about a week ago. Production's happening in another couple weeks, but so this is a double axle Sport Edition. So this is designed to be price conscious. We still offer everything. If you look at this floor plan, it has a walk around queen bed, double over double, the sofa, the dinette, a sink, a furnace, an air conditioner, the big reefer, you're really not jeopardizing camping features to get a 28-foot trailer at what we think is going to be aggressively priced.
This is a make sure, this is a camping's outdoors thing, right? You're not supposed to be camping inside all the time. You got plenty of room to sleep, you can fit several people in here. Shoot, you can fit 8 people if you really wanted to, right?
Yep.
But yeah, camping's meant to be outdoors. This is kind of a neck down version of a 264.
It is. The 264, which is now called a 260. We still have that floor plan. It's been around, I don't know, Jake. I've been in the camping business 30 years, and it's probably was here, or 20 years. It was probably here 10 years before that. That floor plan's been around forever. So we didn't want to just really duplicate that exact same floor plan, which we still offer. We still build that 260, but we wanted to do something maybe a little bit different. And this has all the same concept of that, just in a different layout. And again, it will be priced a little bit less than that 260 because it's in the Sport Series.
Perfect. You heard it here.
Yeah.
First time to see it. That's awesome.
First time you see it.
Awesome. Well, anything else in this document that you want to talk about, Matt?
I don't think so. You have a couple new floor plans. If you want to scroll down, Jake, I'll maybe briefly talk about that. Right there is a 295 TBS. It's a bigger J Flight. It has, a bunk room that you can close off in the back, big outside kitchen. So yeah, just a different variety of what we do. J Flight has done extremely well with bunk bed models. We are, it's a family camper. So this is just another offering. We do have a new couples trailer. If you scroll down, a 265 MWS couples trailer with a little outside reefer. Great hidden storage, hidden pantry there. So we're excited about that. Big windows. That's one thing in the last couple of years you heard me say something about, making our trailers light and bright. We used to put like little tiny submarine windows in our campers. Let's face it, right? And in the past couple of years, we've really worked hard to bring the outside in, whether that's light or just your scenery. So we've worked hard to put bigger windows. And so that's one thing you'll see in this camper is some bigger windows.
Awesome. Natural light goes a long ways, especially when you're camping under trees and all that. So, All right. Very cool. Very cool. Mark, what do you got?
Yes, so we'll get started here. One thing, we did an all-new interior decor across the board for all Jayfeather brands. So that would include Jayfeather, Jayfeather Air, and then the Jayfeather Air SL that we debuted last year. I know you have a little flyer there that I sent you, Jake, that'll show you the new decor. We've had Modern Farmhouse for a few years now, so we wanted to change it up a little bit on the inside, but still make sure that it's light and has a good modern feel. So we went with the Dune Gray cabinetry. Previously, we had 2 accented woods. So we had what we called country linen, which was white, and then a vintage wash gray, which was a darker version of gray. We decided to kind of meet in the middle there with Dune Gray. So it is a gray cabinetry, but it's lighter gray. It also has a nice, like modern shaker style profile to the doors and drawers. And with that, to complement those cabinets, we added new flooring and a new countertop and a new backsplash. And I'll tell you, for the dealers that have gone through the product recently, we've just had a ton of positive feedback. So we believe the retail customers are going to like what they see on the inside as well. And it's just been time. Every 3 years, 4 years, we got to look at our interior decors, change it up a little bit, and make sure we're kind of keeping up with home trends. And I think our team did a really good job with that this year. So that's across the board, all the brands there. Still have some accented darker woods. The midnight maple you can see on like the window framing, and then like the dinette table there, the entry doors. So there is still some accented woods, but overall it has a nice lighter feel. We went to what we call patent haze wallboard, which is a lighter wallboard than we had previously. So it's like, yeah, we went to gray, but it's a lighter gray, and we went to a lighter wallboard. So when you walk inside, it still feels nice and bright, just kind of gave it a refresh and more of a modern feel on the inside.
Very much so. And it sounds like, it looks like there's more lighting than I remember just in general,
Yeah, so we
looks
spend
like
a lot of time with the team making sure we're looking for dark spots, and wherever we find a dark spot, we spend a little bit of extra money to add a light there. Yeah, we're camping, but at the same time, it rains, and at night you're on the inside. You don't want it to feel dark and gloomy, like you're stuck in a dark hallway or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes a big difference. Just being able to see.
Yep, completely agree. So that's kind of across the board for all the Jay Feather brands there. And so if you want, we can kind of just dive into the brand specifics. So on Jay Feather, I know you had mentioned a little bit ago, just bringing in that natural light. One thing we did do was on our big living room slides, we added bigger windows. We debuted our 27 MK last year. You can see on that slide there, Jake. It's a little harder to tell with the image, but you can see those in-wall windows on the slide. We went to, just the top of the net all the way up to the ceiling to match the windows on the back side of the slide. We debuted that slide in a floor plan last year and got a ton of positive feedback just because people want that natural light, right? Like we buy campers to go camping, to be outdoors. And so we went across the board with that and have had some really good positive feedback. We also increased the kitchen window sizes as well. Again, just was a big focal point for this model year, just bring in that natural light. And that actually does come from consumer feedback. Matt mentioned it earlier. We listen really closely to our dealers as well as our retail customers. And that's one thing we heard was they want bigger windows and they want to be able to bring in the natural light. So we were able to do that for this model year. Now, earlier talking about inflation, I'd also say, interest rates. Our dollar doesn't go as far, but we know that people still want to camp. So what we decided to do was kind of have a base level Jay Feather and then offer an upgraded luxury package, if you will. That's called the Premier Package. I kind of always compare it to let's say a F-150 or a Chevy 1500. Like with an F-150, you have your base level XLT. Not everybody needs the Lariat or the Platinum. Not everybody needs all the bells and whistles, but they want to be able to drive a more affordable. They want to drive an F-150, but same thing with the Feather. They want to own a Jay Feather, but maybe they don't need all the upgraded features. So that was kind of the big picture on what we did with Feather is hey, let's offer an affordable Feather and then offer an upgraded package, which is that Premier Package. So Jake, you have that flyer pulled up, and part of that Premier Package is the molded front cap. That is also a separate option. We know there's some customers that want that front cap but may not need all the bells and whistles in the Premier Package, so that is included separately. The rest of them are just included in the Premier. So you have the Norco 5.1 power stabilizing system. Our previous model year, we actually did not have any power jacks on Feather, so I'm excited about having that in the Premier Package. And that Norco system is pretty sweet because all the jacks work independently of each other versus those scissor power jacks where the left and right work together. They all work independently, but there's also a separate switch that runs them all at the same time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and what's also cool with it is all the switches are on the tongue jack, above the tongue jack, and there's actually a lid that covers all the switches. So we had mentioned earlier, we listened to our retail customer, and it was just a few weeks ago, not that long ago, on the Jayco RV group page, there was customers that had posted, hey, does anybody cover their tongue jack with a bucket or a blanket? And there was hundreds of comments, people saying, yep, we put a bucket over it, we put blankets over it. So the Norco system actually gives you a lid that protects all those switches, so you don't have to put the bucket or blanket over it. So it's just an added benefit to those power jacks.
Very cool.
And then we got the Max Air, you can see that. So the base level Feather, you'll have your regular 12 volt in the bathroom, but then when you get Premier, you'll upgrade that bathroom 12-volt fan to the Max Air vent fan. And those Max Airs, they work on 4 different speeds. They also work when the lid is closed. So if it's raining, you can still operate those vents. They work more as a fan at that point. Okay, so with the Premier, you'll get it in the bathroom, but then also in your living room, you'll get another Max Air. So you'll have dual Max Air fans. Yeah. Max Air is a pretty popular vent fan in the industry, so we're excited to be able to offer 2 of those. Now, on the base level Feather, we'll still prep it in the living room. So if in the future you want to add another max air vent fan, we'll have the framing there and the 12-volt wiring. You can still easily do that aftermarket. And then pull out kitchen faucet sprayer and then a nice butcher block cutting board with the Jayco logo on there. Thing just gives it a nice little touch. Obviously, we like to show off the Jaybird there. And I just think it looks really good overall. Gives it that kind of luxury feel, if you will.
Absolutely. Stamped and approved.
Yep, stamped and approved. We had to get that approved by marketing.
Good deal.
So,
good deal.
Yeah, floor plans on feathers really was, the big thing that I'm excited about is we were finally able to offer washer dryer prep. So last year we debuted our 30 RKB, which is a rear kitchen with a front bedroom. We were able to add washer dryer prep to that. And then what you're showing here, Jake, that's actually our 26 FK. And what we did was we stretched that bedroom, about 1.5 feet, and it gave us the ability to add washer dryer prep. And, as we mentioned earlier, lots of customers listened to the feedback. We knew that there was lots of customers that wanted that washer dryer, primarily down south, more snowbirds that are doing extended camping. So we now offer that in the 26 FK. We have that in our 30 RKB, and then our 28 RB, we were actually able to add that to the linen closet in the bathroom without stretching the coach at all. So 2025, we didn't really have any washer dryer preps. Now in 2026, we have 3 floor plans with it. So that's a big deal. And I know we've gotten a ton of positive feedback on that as well.
Yeah,
any questions on the feathers at all, or should we jump right into airs?
No, the washer and dryer prep is a big one. There's no real questions on that. It just helps out a lot of people, because I had people coming in, they were working on windmills, the new windmills coming up, and they'd be living in these things. They wanted washer and dryer prep or whatever reason they needed. So that's really cool that they're giving that option in the 26 in the J Feather lineup, because that was not a thing. They're just coming down. There's like, if you had a washer and dryer prep and anything low to mid level, mid range or entry level, it's not basically unheard of. So that's a super cool thing. I don't have any other questions on feather. So we can move on to the air.
Perfect. One thing I will say on the washer dryer is we know that a lot of the customers actually don't put washer dryers in there. They just like to know that, hey, if I ever want to install it later, I have the ability to easily add it. So I figured I'd throw that out. I mean, we know customers are installing them, but it's just kind of that peace of mind. Like, hey, if we decide to become snowbirds, we retire at some point, want to go down south, do some extended, not even just down south, wherever they want to camp, but we say down south for snowbirds, right? Beating the cold and getting down in the heat in the winter. But yeah, so super excited about that. Now on airs, there was one big change. We previously had our J Feather micros, which were single axles, and we also had our J Feather airs. Okay, so what we decided to do was merge micro into the air platform. Okay, there was reason for it for a couple reasons. One is a lot of times it's on the dealerships lots or even retail customers like, hey, what's the difference between a micro and air? They're both J Feathers, they're both single axles. I can easily spit out all the differences between them, but we want to simplify it and make it easy to understand. The micros were on a 7.5 foot box platform, whereas the J Feather Air was on an 8 foot. But a lot of the differences really came down on the micro was a lot of the off-road features that it offered. Okay, now there may be really good floor plans like the 199 MBS, the 183 FBS, the 166 FBS in the micro platform, but maybe there's customers that don't need all those, the torsion axles, the off-road tires, the diamond plate on the rear wall, but they still want that floor plan. So merging that into the air platform, what we did was we were able to come up with a Baja package, as we mentioned earlier in J-Flight, where we've offered that for years out west. That was a huge valuable feature that we've always had that kind of set us apart. Now we're able to offer that as an air. So if there was floor plans you liked in micro, you can get that same floor plan in air, but now it's 8 foot wide versus 7.5. So you have more space on the inside. And if you needed those off-road features, Jake, you can pull that flyer up. You can still get that now. It's just in a package, right? And what's interesting is the micro floor plans, if you compared a similar micro floor plan to a Jayfeather air floor plan, the micro floor plans were actually more money, although they were 7.5 foot wide versus the airs being 8 foot wide. So now you can get that same floor plan in an air, 8 foot wide, so more space for less money. But if you need those off-road features, you can opt into it in the form of the Baja package, which, as you see here on the flyer, it offers those off-road tires, those rock-solid jacks, independent torsion axle, and then you get your 2-inch receiver hitch, and then your rear diamond plating. So those are features for the most part that are more for off-roading, and so we're able to offer that. And what's also interesting is, we went from 7.5 foot wide to 8 foot wide. We would think that doing that would add weight, but actually they're about the same weight as they were previously, just because of some of the weight that you get with that Baja package. And some of the other features, like not everything came directly from Baja into air. In fact, there was a couple things we took from micro and brought into air, like the sink. Before, air had to flip up glass lid for the sink and a flip up faucet, which is cool, but we had a lot of customers saying, hey, we'd rather just have a regular sink. And then in micros, there was a 3-burner stove versus the airs have a 2-burner stove. And we actually got feedback from that saying, hey, we'd rather just have a 2-burner. This is a small camper. We're not doing a whole extended stay camping in this. We'd rather have a little bit more countertop space and have the 2-burner stove. So a lot of good benefits from merging micro into air, getting the price point down a little bit, giving you more space on the inside. And then for our customers that need those off-road features, you can easily opt into that with the Baja package.
Very nice. And is that really, so say someone on the Eastern Coast wants a Baja package. How easy is that done? It can be done
absolutely.
over there?
Yep, that's a great question. So, Jayflight has the plant out in Twin Falls, Idaho. All of our Jayfeathers, including the Jayfeather airs, will all still be built in Middlebury. So it doesn't matter where you're at in North America. If you're in Canada, Eastern U.S., Western U.S., you can still opt in and get that Baja package. So that's available to every dealer and retail customer out there.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's only on that feather line, Jake. That's a really good point, because in the J-Flight world, you can't.
Correct.
We do not offer that Baja package here in Indiana. Last year on our single axles, we had what was called the STX package, which was more off-road features like our Baja. It was basically a Baja package just out here for Indiana, for everybody Midwest and East, and even Eastern Canada. And that package just did not do well. That off-road style of camping is really prevalent in the Rocky Mountain West Coast region. So you can in the feather, you cannot get Baja here on J flights out of Indiana.
Flatlanders.
Flatlanders, they don't need it. They don't want that off-road stuff.
East of the Rockies, they're RVing. West of the Rockies, they're camping in the mountains.
That makes sense. It makes sense. Guys, this has been wonderful. Is there anything that we didn't touch on? I'm looking at, trying to look through here real quickly. I'm not seeing anything that we didn't touch on.
There's lots of little tiny details. I mean, we could spend hours talking about every little minor thing that changed from a 25 to a 26, because there are little tiny gadgets here, but really, we hit the main points a little bit behind the scenes of why we did what we did. Just encourage all your viewers to go to their local Jayco dealer and check out the new 26s.
But specifically Bish's, you should check out Bish's.com.
Specifically their local Bish's.
Yeah, Bish's. Bish's Jayco. Because we sell a lot of Jayco. That's our number one brand.
Definitely do. You guys are a great partner for us, for sure.
Yeah. So, I'm going to kind of do a real quick hitter. New interior, new in colors. Some larger windows, washer and dryer prep, and some floor plans. New floor plans, merging lines as well. You got a new destination series. You got the airs that are merged with the micros, because we're not really doing. You are still doing micros though, correct?
No. So micros were away, and we just merged those into air. Yep, good point.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. Well, that sounds. I mean, there's a lot of cool things that we can cover and even touch on more. I can't share. This is confidential. It says confidential. But
got to go visit everybody in the store.
Yeah, absolutely. I would like to. If you come out, who comes out west? Who's out west here? Is it you, Mark?
You got John Fisher, Brad McKinney, Jared Yoder, Zach Klein. Yeah, we got quite a few West Coast reps for sure.
I forgot Fisher's the one because we had. Is John Fisher? Are you Matt and you, Mark? You and John related?
Don't say it. We are not related. No.
Is it?
We call him good fish. We call John bad fish.
Well, why?
You'll find out.
I'll find out.
Yeah,
all right.
awesome. So yeah, we kind of switched duties there. I took over his role as in product development. He took over my territory as regional sales manager, and he moved out to Arizona. So
Yeah.
he's more local to your Western stores, which makes it a lot more convenient for him to visit your locations out west.
Yeah, he was enjoying it down there. He just wanted to live down there for full time. I mean, I can understand leaving the Midwest. I had to do it myself.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I won't go back.
Yeah.
Awesome, fellas. Well, Matt, thank you very much for being on here. It was a pleasure meeting you. Mark, as always, absolute pleasure. Guys, check out fishes.com. There's you can see the ticker down there. And then check out Jayco because you guys Matt, I checked out Jayco's website here recently. You guys have ramped it up a little bit compared to what it used to be when I started. You got videos on there, training videos, you got walkthrough videos of all this. So kudos to Jayco for doing that because that makes a huge difference for customer shopping online. So kudos to you guys on the website. But anybody else out there, please stay tuned for more from the RV Boys because we're going to be talking to more manufacturers coming up this summer. So Matt and Mark, again, thank you very much. And everybody out there, stay tuned.
Thanks a lot, Jake. We'll see you.
See ya.